on the edge of a forgotten neighborhood, where boarded-up houses whispered old stories and weeds clawed through cracked pavement. One house stood alone, its roof sagged, windows broken, door half-hanging by rusted hinges. People walked by without a glance. Everyone had given up on that place. Everyone except one small puppy. He was always there, morning, night, rain, or heat. Sitting on the porch, ears alert, tail motionless. His fur was dirty and thin, ribs poking through his side. Yet he did not leave. He watched the door like it might open any second, like someone important still lived inside. Most people ignored him. Some tossed scraps. A few muttered about calling animal control, but no one stopped. No one listened, until Claire did. She was not planning to. Just another walk to the bus stop, head down, earbuds in. But then she heard something strange, a sound that did not belong. A whimper, faint and muffled. Not from the puppy on the porch, but from somewhere deeper. She froze. The puppy looked at her, stood up slowly, and took a few steps toward the corner of the house. He looked back as if asking her to follow, and for some reason she did. Claire crouched beside the porch and followed the puppy around to the side. The grass was overgrown, thorny bush scraped her jeans. The dog stopped near a pile of old wood and debris. His body tensed, and he barked once sharp and urgent. Then silence. That same faint cry echoed from below. Her heart pounded. She reached down and moved aside some loose boards. The smell hit first. Dampness, rot, and something worse. But under the slats, just barely visible in the dim light, were eyes. Tiny, trembling eyes. A second puppy, hidden beneath the house, too weak to bark. Claire stumbled back, heart racing. She called for help. When the rescue team arrived, the porch puppy stayed close. He wagged his tail gently but never left the spot. It was as if he was guiding them. One of the rescuers knelt by the foundation and called out. Another cry answered. They pulled up more boards. Dirt crumbled, bugs scattered. And then came the reveal. Not one, not two, but three puppies huddled together in the dark, their bodies pressed against a larger shape. The mother, barely breathing, covered in scratches, her ribs rising slowly. But she was alive. The puppy on the porch was not just any stray. He was their brother, the only one strong enough to get out, the only one willing to stay behind and beg strangers for help. For days, maybe longer, he had stood guard while his family faded beneath the floor. That day, they carried the mother out wrapped in a blanket. Her eyes fluttered open and she saw the porch puppy. He leaned forward, touched noses with her, then curled up at her side. He had done it. He had saved them. Not with barking, not with fear, but with hope. Claire's house sat at the edge of town with a red fence and a wide porch. As she opened the door, the dog stood still for a moment. Then Scout took the first step. He walked in, tail raised slightly, and the others followed. Their journey had brought them home. In the weeks that followed, the house filled with life. Pebble learned to climb stairs. Miko discovered how to bark with joy. Fawn chased leaves in the yard like they were treasures. Lily found her favorite sunlit spot by the window, and Scout remained the silent heart of them all. He still watched the door sometimes, as if remembering the porch, the cries beneath the floor, the weight of those days. But now, when he turned back, he saw something else, a soft bed, wagging tails, and Claire smiling with open arms. The past had not left him, but it no longer defined him. One afternoon, Claire planted flowers near the porch. Scout lay beside her as she dug into the earth. She looked at him, brushing dirt from her gloves, and whispered, "You saved them, you know? You saved all of us." Scout blinked slowly, then rested his head on her lap. And perhaps that was the truth of it. Love does not always arrive with grand gestures. Sometimes it comes in the quietest moments, a puppy standing guard, a woman who stops to listen, a family rebuilt beneath broken wood and open skies. Their story was not perfect, but it was theirs. If you pass by that house now, you will see a wind chime on the porch and 4 dogs napping in the afternoon sun. Scout will probably be the first to lift his head, watching quietly, making sure everything is still all right. Just like he always did. Thank you for watching this story to the very end. If it touched your heart, we hope you will share it with someone who still believes in the quiet power of love and loyalty. Stories like these remind us that the world is not always loud with kindness. Sometimes it whispers. The puppy on that porch did not have a voice strong enough to shout. He had no words to beg, but he stayed. He waited, he watched. And when someone finally listened, everything changed. His story is not just about rescue, it is about faith that help will come. Even when it is slow, Claire did not know she would find a family that day. She did not plan to open her home to 4 dogs. But when she followed the sound beneath the floor, she followed something deeper too, feeling that some calls are not meant to be ignored. Some doors must be opened. Scout never asked for thanks. He never needed praise. All he wanted was to keep his family safe. In doing so, he found something larger. He found a place where they could all be loved, where he could finally sleep without watching the door, where he could just be a dog. So if you believe in moments like this real, raw, quietly powerful, then stay with us. There are more stories like Scout's waiting to be told. Stories of courage, of silent strength, and of second chances. At the shelter, the air smelled of medicine and bleach. But to the little family, it was the scent of safety. Vets rushed to examine the mother, who they later named Lily. She was severely malnourished and dehydrated, with deep wounds and infected scratches. Yet she did not whimper once. Her puppies, tiny and fragile, clung to her belly. They were named Pebble, Miko, and Fawn. None of them had the strength to stand. But Scout, the porch puppy, the brave one, never left their side. He watched everything with cautious eyes, ready to jump if anyone moved too fast. For days, they lived in a quiet corner of the shelter. Volunteers sat with them, speaking gently, offering warm food and clean blankets. Slowly, Lily's breathing steadied. Her eyes began to follow movement. The puppies lifted their heads. And Scout began to wag his tail just a little more. He never stopped guarding them. When someone entered the room, Scout positioned himself between the door and the others. He did not growl. He did not bark. But his message was clear. He had brought them this far, and he would not stop now. They were his to protect. Weeks passed. Lily began to walk again, though with a limp. The puppies grew stronger. They started to play, to wrestle gently, to nibble on toys and chase each other across the soft blankets. Scout stayed close, sometimes playing, sometimes simply watching. He had become the quiet leader of them all. Claire visited often. She brought treats and toys, always kneeling slowly before entering their space. Scout recognized her now. He would greet her with a soft-nosed nudge, then run to the others to let them know she was safe. A trust had been built, slow and strong. One day, Claire sat longer than usual. She watched them all curled together, Lily resting. Pebble and Miko snuggled against her. Fawn asleep under Scout's paw. Her eyes filled with tears. She realized she had not just helped save a family. She had found one of her own. Claire filled out the papers that evening. The shelter staff smiled. They had hoped for this, but never expected all of them to be adopted together. It was rare, but Claire insisted. They had survived together. They should stay together. And her home had enough room for them all. Moving day was quiet, almost sacred. The shelter staff gathered around as Claire led the family out one by one. Lily walked with gentle steps, pausing only to nuzzle each of her puppies. Scout stayed close to Claire, his eyes watching her every move, already bonded more than anyone knew. The ride home was long but calm. The puppies, now stronger, sat nestled in a large bed Claire had prepared in the back seat. Lily lay beside them, head resting gently on Scout's back. It was the first time in weeks they had been outside without fear. They were safe now,